All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now. We got New Jersey's finest, man. We got the living legend. We got Samuel, Steadyroc right here, live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, good, real good, man. Blessed, that's what it is, you know?
Hey, man,
Sure.
that's the best way to be. I gotta ask, man, how's everything out in New Jersey right now, man? I know right now the world's slowly starting to open back up, but how's actually your state of New Jersey doing?
We getting good. We like fully open up. Everything is like almost like normal, you know? So, people, you know, doing their things. Venues is open. You know, I'm actually going to go this, showcase tonight when I finish up here. You know, the audiences is coming out and everything. You know, they're opening up stuff, so it's really good. It's really good. The weather's nice. We just had a lot of rain today, but, you know, Jersey is what it is.
But I want to take you back to the beginning, man, and I gotta ask, like, what actually inspired you to get into the music industry initially, man? Because I gotta say, you're such a phenomenal MC.
Thank you, thank you. Man, it was just love and the passion of, like, you know, when I seen cats like, watching him back in the day, or, you know, just feeling like, man, I want to put words together like that. But it was just, you know, and I mean, for me, it was almost like that was the next fly compared to the drug dealers. Like, wow, you know what I mean? And then not to mention if you had some artistic skills to put some words together, that just, you know, like held my attention and whatnot. So that's where it was driven from. You know, and really English class and shit. You know.
And also, man, I want to take you right back to the mid 90s, man, where you were actually a part of the hip hop duo called the Infantry Man. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about that group. And of course, how did yourself and Kais, of course, actually get connected?
Yeah, that's my brother, like just like my neighborhood brother, like, you know what I mean, from the same hood, Elizabeth, New Jersey, from the same town. And, you know, I was link up. Like, I see him on the skateboard back in the day, but I didn't know he rapped. But then when we'd be at the lunchroom, cats would be having ciphers and stuff, and we were like, oh, you rap, I rap. It's like, yo, let's go to the studio. He knew, you know, Cat Shaman, you know what I mean, that was brought the whole infantry, and then, yeah, Shaman was making beats, Melodic was making beats, but Kais was the, like, that, you know, who really was, like, bringing everybody together, like, come on, yo, you can spit, you know, and that's where it happened, man, and I'm like, thankful for that, brother, you know what I mean? Then we went on and rocked with Mr. Lynn, you know?
And also, man, in the year 1997, you know, the infantry actually dropped Lyrical Logic and the World on a 12-inch promo vinyl on Mood Swing Productions, man. I was wondering, what's the story behind Lyrical Logic, man? I gotta say that like that song is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you, thank you. That was the first time I just ever recorded something. And, you know, back then, we had just got our money together and was like, man, look, let's go press for some records. Like, we put our money and really bought some records and got them made. And they took that song, and my boy Kais had his song, and we just were like, all right, let's put both of them out and form the whole infantry thing. And, you know, got the opportunity to get it played up there with Stretch and Barbito and whatnot back in the day, you know what I mean? And that was really like the fuel that just like kept the thing just going, you know, like, oh, I could do this.
And also as well was Mood Swing Productions, was that your guys' like imprint, or were you guys actually signed to that production label?
Nah, that was actually our own label, you know, just the four of us coming together and, you know, putting that label together, you know, and it grew the attention of some people, but it was all independent, you know, straight from the dirt with that, straight from the dirt and the grind. Like, we really pressed up got our own records pressed up through disc makers.
And I gotta say right there that's some revolutionary type stuff, man, because you were doing stuff like that before everybody else was. Now every artist has like their own label or something like that, but you guys were doing it before everybody else was doing that sort of thing.
And the crazy, we didn't even know we had it. We just figured we had a name, we had to put a name on there and everything. It was like, we didn't know the significance of what we were doing at that time. We just know we wanted to have some music out. And we knew it's easier. How we going to get DJs to play it? You know, we need to give them records. You know, they had turntables back then. They didn't have really CD players, you know, so. we want some DJs to play it, you know.
And also in the year, oh, sorry about that, Steady. My apologies.
My bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say also in the year 2001, you were actually featured on Mr. Len's "Pity the Fool" album on the song "Family Matters." I was wondering, what's the story behind that phenomenal collaboration, and what was it like being in the studio with Mr. Len?
Oh man, he was a genius in his own right, and just keeping. I mean, that was another level of inspiration to be a part of that project with all of them top-notch artists that was on there, and that was the work actually from my boy Kite, of course, the Infantry, like that was both of us on that record and whatnot, and he made hooked us up, like met Lynn through him, and then brought me on board, and it's just like we never like kind of looked back, so we still work on some things, but yeah, that was amazing, man, to be a part of all of them amazing artists on that project too. Shout out to Mr. Lynn.
Oh, most definitely, and I gotta say that album is, in my personal opinion, that album will always be solidified within the hip hop history, man. Like you said, just the phenomenal collaborations, man, made it take the cake.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, he took us on tour with us too. You know what I mean? We got to open up for Complex and Child Munch, Jean Grey, Alpha. It was amazing, and I enjoyed it.
And also, as well, in 2002, you actually released the 12-inch vinyl titled "Back 2000." I have to ask you, man, like, what's the story behind that iconic single? And of course, what was it like actually just releasing that on Black Puma Records?
That was amazing. That was another imprint that we came up with, myself, you know what I mean. But it was a record that was just, I felt I had been away for a minute, which wasn't a long time, and it wasn't, but it was in the grind of doing it. But and we just like, let's come back with it, and a whole bunch of taking it back. How many times we can say back 2000? So and that's and we just vibed out with it. And we just recently shot a video to it too. You know what I mean? So that was pretty dope. Getting the kids out there and vibing out with the kids. So.
And I noticed as well that you actually. Oh, sorry about that.
No, you good. Great moments, man.
I was actually noticing as well that you actually just re-released that actually on digital, and I have to ask, man, like, how is a new generation liking that old sound? Because I do know that kids nowadays, man, they don't really vibe to the old school stuff, which is very unfortunate.
I mean, the vibe is the crazy thing. The vibe has been real. It's like in the sense of like it's been unexpectedly for me that younger cats been like vibing to it and liking it, like wow, like almost like looking at it as like okay, that's how we can rock. But you're still giving the energy and rocking a crowd and everything, and just to, I think maybe it's something to reflect on, to take back from the past and bring it back new, to revive it and stuff like that. So it's been great, man. They've been giving like a lot of warm embrace to the OG and saying like, okay, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I love all the music that the new generation is doing and the technology. Thank you.
And also, jumping ahead in the timeline here quite a bit, into 2018, you actually dropped a phenomenal single titled "Combo." Convo with My Dad. Sorry. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a little bit more about this phenomenal single, and of course, where can we actually check it out today?
Thank you. That was like, man, that just was a record. I felt like real story about situation about my dad and what happened when I was, 8 years old, how he had got killed and whatnot. And it was something that would happen way before cameras and internet and all of that came into play. But it was a serious story about, he was facing time, but then he got shot by the sheriff in the courthouse, and it's a real. The story, the song tells the whole story in a sense, I think, and I just wanted to actually. I felt grateful that we got an opportunity now with technology to even get it out more, and that you did your research and checking it out. Thank you. This is a story I felt as though had to be told.
And I first and foremost want to say, man, my sincere condolences. But that song was absolutely just beautiful, man. I really loved like the context you put in that song, man. In my personal opinion, that is the definition of hip hop. In my personal opinion.
Thank you. You done your research, bro. Word up.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I always look at it like this, man. You know, good questions make a good interview, right? At the end of the day, some people want to know who your top 10 rappers are, but I want to know about your career history.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, man. Just, constantly just in the Bible making good music, man, and just trying to get a piece of myself every time I do something. I'm like I keep saying, I take it back to technology now, man, just allowing me to even do it more and giving me more inspiration to be more creative.
And also as well, man, I actually noticed that you have done a substantial amount of work with an individual by the name of DJ Melodic Sounds. I was wondering, how did yourself and him get connected, and do you guys have any new future projects in the works? Because I gotta say, when you guys get together, man, you guys create absolute fire.
Yeah, that's my brother, man. He's from the infantry days. We go way back from the infantry. He was the starter and the founder of that infantry. Me, Tyson, of course, DJ Melodic, you know what I mean, B&M, my boy Shaman, Benny Smoke, shout out to my boy Benny Smokes, Shoutouts, a lot of cats, man. We was just doing it, and we just constantly always just vibe together. I think it's just a vibe that when we do come together and do some music, it just be magic, like, you know what I mean, because we know what when we hear each other, or when I hear his beats, or when he hear me, he know what it sounds good and whatnot for me and whatnot, and it's just magic, man. And what we did do, the latest joint, we did a joint called Say Something, featuring Kadat X, Ricky Rover. Yeah, and, we stay working, shout out to that brother DJ Melodic.
And I gotta say, man, one of the most newest ones that you guys actually did as well that I really enjoyed was Dark Hip Hop, man. I think that song was phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah, that was some deep underground, but it was some bars, and, most of that stuff was like kind of like, since the technology, we released it. It was stuff that we done, and it was like we dug in the crate and got that out and said, hold up, the world, we need to hear this, you know what I mean? Like, we need to hear this.
And also, as well, I saw on social media that you actually have Steadyroc Life merchandise available, man. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit more about what merch you have, and of course, how can we go about snagging ourselves some swag?
Well, yeah, I mean, Steadyroc Life merch, you know what I mean? Just go on the Steadyroc Life page, you know what I mean? SteadyRocLife.com, DM me, you know what I mean? We got new pieces coming up, and for the definitely for the fall season, but the summer season, whatnot, some things going on. But definitely hit me up, DM me, man, right now for that, It's like I'm singing it out personally, you know what I mean?
And I was looking at some of them t-shirts, man, and I gotta say, they're hella crispy, man. So whenever my work check comes in, man, I'm most definitely gonna be hitting you up for one of them t-shirts.
That's promo. You got that, you know what I mean? Send the address to DM. Hold up.
And also, as well, man, I actually, aside from the music here for a moment, I also noticed that you are actually known as the Lyrical Barber. I have to ask you, what actually made you decide to venture into becoming a barber? And of course, how can our listeners that are either traveling to New Jersey, obviously after COVID and everything, or our New Jersey listeners, how can they go about getting their hair cut by the legend?
Yeah, definitely. You can always book an appointment if you're in the area of Linden, New Jersey, Uppercut Barbershop, 70 Elizabeth Avenue. Just go to my website, man, SteadyRocLife.com, and it's a link on there to book a haircut appointment. And I got into barbering because it just was something that I was good at, and I ran away from it for a minute, but then it just wasn't no work, and then I got an opportunity to get a job in a barbershop and never looked back.
Hey, man, it's most definitely some good money, man, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, every man gets scruffy at one point, man, and you always need a good barber to make you look and feel fresh again.
Yes, definitely. And it definitely keeps me able to fund more projects, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, and, just having the flexibility to, do my thing.
And also, January 15th of this year, 2021, you actually dropped your most recent song titled Push Button Ignite. I was wondering if you tell our listeners a bit more about this phenomenal new single. And of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy today?
Well, you can definitely go stream it on all streaming platforms. You know what I mean? Tidal, Amazon, Apple Music. You can buy it from Amazon, $1. You know what I mean? Hey, share your dollar with me. I'll share my story with you. But yeah, man, all streaming platforms, wherever you stream your music, man, please, people go listen to it, go check me out. You know what I mean? And whatnot. All streaming platforms.
But I gotta ask as well, man, what is next for you? I know we touched base on a lot of stuff during this interview, but is there anything I happen to miss? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote while we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Well, tonight I'm going to go rock the house at a intimate venue. But the most important thing, Street Credit, that video is coming out. It's in the process. It's going to be very, very lovely. Working on that. New music, a new EP, you know what I mean, and whatnot. Working with some phenomenal people on that, you know what I mean. Shout out to Chelsea Beats and whatnot. Yeah, man, but the new EP is coming forward pretty real quick, real soon, you know. And having fun making this music, that's it, you know. Having fun making it, man. Word up.
And also, Samuel, this is the time quickly, man, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airways right before we wrap things up. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Samuel Steadyroc if they're not already doing so.
Thank you. Word up. You know, you can go to my website, which is www.steadyroclife.com. And that's Steady, R-O-C, leave off the K, L-I-F-E, SteadyRocLife.com. Instagram is SteadyRocLife. And the music, just search for me at Samuel Steadyroc. I'm on all your streaming platforms. Please go take a listen to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Word up.
But I gotta say, Samuel, thank you so much, man, for just taking a little bit of your time out of your busy evening this evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. It definitely was an honor to welcome you on my radio station this evening. And I gotta say, man, good luck at your event and tear the roof off, man. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, I'm just jealous that I can't be there, man. But good luck, and I know you're gonna do phenomenal at it.
Yes. Thank you, bro. Shout out, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, bro. Word up, man.
You're most certainly welcome, man. You have yourself a wonderful night.
Peace.